What if the one move everyone keeps dismissing as fantasy is exactly the move that flips the Western Conference on its head? What if the piece we've been missing, size, touch, poise under playoff fire, has already been measured against us, punished us, and is now one phone call away from wearing purple and gold? Could a single decision solve the spacing crunch, rescue fourth-quarter possessions from dying on the vine, and finally give Anthony Davis the freedom to be a destroyer instead of a Band-Aid? Ask yourself this: when was the last time the Lakers added a front-court mind that made the game easier for LeBron, not harder? Before we peel this open, smash subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, turn on notifications, and drop your take in the comments, because if the front office pulls this off, you're going to want to say you called it early. This isn't a dream board. This is a map of what has to happen, why it matters, and how it immediately changes the way teams defend LeBron and AD in the last 6 minutes of tight games. Picture the profile: a 7-footer with soft hands, mid-post footwork, elbow reads that punish top locks, and a pick-and-pop threat that drags a rim protector 2 steps higher than he wants to go. Not a developmental swing. Not a prospect. A made man who has spent a decade warping coverages by simply catching at 17 feet, seeing the stunt, and hitting the weak side shooter on time. Now imagine how it reshapes our identity. AD doesn't have to bang every trip. He can roam, blow up actions as the free safety, and pick spots to terrorize in help instead of absorbing 48 minutes of chest-to-chest wrestling. The offense stops pretending that 5-out exists when the 5 won't shoot. It actually becomes 5-out with short roll passes into split cuts that make weak. Defenses choose their poison. There's also the tempo problem we never admit out loud. When we slow to a crawl, the half-court gets sticky. This piece unclogs it. Flip a simple horn set into a Spain variation. Let the new big pop to the slot, and suddenly the low man has to tag a real shooter while LeBron snakes downhill. Empty corner. Pick and rolls stop being 2-on-2 fistfights and turn back into math problems we can win. And no, this isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. This is morale. This is the room believing the front office is still in go mode. This is LeBron seeing a veteran who knows how to screen without moving, who boxes out even when he doesn't get the board, who will happily take the 12-footer teams. Gift us in April because they don't respect our spacing. Championship teams by inches. This move buys yards. The name you're waiting for lands now like a deep drum on a quiet night. It's the big in the Midwest who kills you by being ruthlessly competent, who doesn't flinch when the pace drops, who has seen every coverage and still finds pockets to score from the elbow, the dunker, and the arc. Yes, this blueprint points straight to Nikola Vucevic. Let's be grown-ups about the fit. Vucevic is not a highlight machine lob threat. He's a technician. What he gives you is stability. 18 to 22 points that aren't loud but arrive like rent, due on the first. He hits the pick and pop above the break. He'll short roll to the nail and make the read to the corner. And when a switch strands a guard on his back, he punishes with seals instead of dribbles. Put that next to a DN. You instantly change where help comes from. Defensively, the plan is clarity, not fantasy. You play more drop in the regular season. You rebound like adults, and you free AD to be a rover start on the least threatening front court player. Blow up drives at the rim, then close possession with violence on the glass. Against switch heavy. Closing lineups, you downshift. AD at the 5, Vucevic sits, or plays short bursts depending on matchup. It's modular. Not dogmatic. What about the closing 5? Think situational. Denver with Jokic? You'll want 2 bigs for stretches too. Keep bodies on him and keep a D fresh enough to attack. Minnesota's skyscrapers? Same idea, so you don't watch AD spend all his oxygen wrestling while our offense dies. Golden State or OKC in a race. You tilt smaller, run a D at the 5, and leverage Vucevic's mids earlier to beat up second units. This isn't about ego. It's about April math. Offense at winning time becomes simpler. Slip screens that bait a switch. then slip again into the elbow catch where Vucevic lives. LeBron cuts baseline, the low tagger cheats, and bang, the weak side shooter gets the cleanest look he's seen all week. Or you go Chicago action into a Spain stack. Let Austin Reeves, yes, that dude play the connector, and your new big turns a stunt into a hockey assist. It won't trend on TikTok, but it buries teams. There's a psychological edge here too. For 2 years, the scouting report has dared our centers to beat playoff defenses with touch. Teams park a 7-footer in the paint and live with our pop guy taking 17-footers he doesn't really want. You add a center who actually wants that shot and hits it, and suddenly the low man is late. The nail help is confused, and AD is catching at the rim without 3 bodies on him. Let's address the elephant in the cap sheet without getting lost in jargon. Is there a path? Yes, but it's not painless. It would take creativity, matching money, and decisions about which future assets you're comfortable moving. There are permutations, some veteran salary here, a sweetener there. Perhaps a third team that needs shooting or relief to make numbers kiss. None of this is comfortable. That's the point of going all in. And what about Chicago? If they pivot into a new timeline or recenter around youth, a move like this becomes less crazy than it sounds at first. Teams that hit the middle treadmill eventually pick a direction. When they do, veterans with bankable skill sets and real contracts garner calls. That's not tampering talk. That's the cycle of this league over and over, franchise after franchise. Zoom back to the court. Think of our first unit rhythm. 2-man game with LeBron using the screen, AD lurking on the weak side for the smash cut lob, and the new big as the pressure valve who actually punishes soft coverage. Second unit, anchor. The offense through elbow touches, DHO chains with Reeves or Rui, and early seals against smalls. For once, the bench minutes stop feeling like a cliff. If you worry about pace, remember this. You don't have to sprint to create easy scores. You create early offense by building advantages in the first 8 seconds. Hit the trailer pop, fire to the corner, reverse, slip into the nail before the defense organizes. Vucevic makes the first decision quickly. No wasted dribbles. No your turn, my turn. Speed of thought is speed of play. History loves this archetype in LA. Think Poe, Gasol arriving and turning chaos into geometry. Think Mark Gasol's brief window of arc-spreading intellect only with healthier legs and more volume as a scorer. The Lakers have always been at their best when the bigs don't just jump higher, they think faster. That's why this idea keeps tugging at smart fans. It's not flash, it's function. And yes, there are pitfalls. You don't chase an answer to one problem and accidentally write new ones. You protect transition defense. You protect our defensive glass, and you demand competitive second efforts, third efforts from a big who has logged miles. This is the bargain. He gives us shooting and craft. We cover for his foot speed. With scheme and ferocity. Imagine the first night this becomes real. Crypto.com is humming. The camera finds a D cracking a grin during warm-ups. The new big runs the first action. Go screen, pop, splash. 2 trips later, it's the elbow touch. Into a back screen layup for a guard who hasn't breathed in that much space since Christmas. A timeout, a murmur, a feeling we haven't felt in a while. Control. You can see the ripple effects down the schedule. Less wear and tear on a D. Cleaner looks for Reeves. LeBron choosing his spots like a sniper instead of carrying a piano up. The stairs. Even the guys who won't close every night get better shots in their minutes because gravity is real, and defenses rotate to shooters who have receipts. If you're asking why now, it's because the West isn't waiting. Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, everyone doubled down on identity. Our path isn't hope. Our path is doubling down on structure that travels in May. Shooting travels. Rebounding travels. Decision-making travels. Vucevic checks those boxes in ink.so. Do you like the fuse? Do you accept the cost and live with the scrutiny? You don't chase stars to look busy. You chase fits that make stars' lives easier. This is that. 2 big optionality when you want it, 5-out clarity when you don't, and a half-court safety valve that stops games from turning into rock fights at 92-92 with 3 minutes left. Here's the part you waited for, the honest end-of-video verdict. Right now, Nikola Vucevic is a Chicago Bull under contract, and he has publicly signaled commitment to that path. That's the reality. Everything we just walked through is the fan blueprint, the rumor mill scenario, the version of events that could materialize only if Chicago shifts direction and the Lakers' front office decides the price is worth it. Could it happen? In this league, never say never. Timelines change fast. Do I, as a Lakers fan, pull the trigger tomorrow? Absolutely, because the fit makes basketball sense, not just headline sense. But is it likely today? Candidly, not unless Chicago pivots. Vucevic believes in what they're building, and that matters. This is the NBA, though. Belief meets reality in December, at the deadline, and again in July. If the Bulls stumble or recalibrate, phones start buzzing. If the Lakers' brain trust senses the window nudge a little more open, they'll explore. That's how every big shift begins quietly, then all at once stop. So follow this under 2 things at once: a genuine, coherent roster idea and the kind of rumor that keeps a fan base awake at 2 a.m. running trade machines in their heads. It's not a lie, not smoke for clicks. It's a thought experiment sitting one decision away from the real world. My stance? If the ask is sane and the medicals, check, you do it. You don't hoard tomorrow if today still has a parade route. And if it doesn't happen, the principle still stands. The Lakers need a pressure valve big who shoots, passes, and thinks. Whether it's Vucevic or a player who rhymes with his archetype, the mission is the same. Make life easier on a D and LeBron and make defenses guard all 5. Titles aren't won by the shiniest move. They're won by the right one. Your turn. Would you pay the price for Vucevic? Which packages make you swallow hard but say yes? And which are non-starters? Drop it below. And remember, everything we've discussed lives in the space between rumor and possibility, anchored by my opinion, and I'll admit, a little bit of fan wish casting. It could be nothing more than smoke carried by late summer winds or the first whisper of a pivot that drops. In February, Lakers News Fan Report will be on it first. Stay locked in. Keep notifications on and keep the conversation honest and sharp. Bottom line, this may be nothing more than rumor fueled by timing and fit. Or it might be the kind of quiet ember that becomes a real fire when circumstances change. As a fan, I want it. As an analyst, I know it requires stars to align. As a Laker, I'll take any edge that buys our legends one more deep run. See you in the comments. One last note. This is my perspective as a Lakers fan who values fit over flash. If the stars don't align, keep the blueprint, because the idea is sound. If they do, remember this night. Keep debate sharp, stay fair, and believe right basketball ideas beat loud headlines.